what part of kind of you and Patrick do you bring to the recruitment process? How have you built that culture? How have you built that team?
So our kind of theory behind how we choose people, we have a really good set of interview questions, obviously, but one of the key things that we look for is, are you going to be adaptable to any sort of changing situation, whether that's the sector you're about to produce a device for, or you need to go and research something, or you might need to learn a new set of skills so that we can actually deliver this client project to the best that we can. And you get a good sense of that just through talking and having those kind of conversations, particularly towards the end of the interview. So obviously there's the set of questions, and then there's the asking, so what questions do you have for us? What sorts of things do you do over the weekend? How involved were you in certain things? And anyone that said, say, what are your sort of hobbies and interests? And they say, well, I like reading and playing football. Sort of like, is there anything else that you do? What else do you do outside of that? What are you interested in? So if you like reading, what sort of books are you reading? And sort of really kind of get into them as people, because it's really important to have people that really want to build their own knowledge and have got this love of learning, like actually I really enjoy learning this new thing, or being basically placed on a very steep learning curve as well. Because if you suddenly got to design a domestic hydrogen sensor from nowhere, and there isn't one that already exists, you've got to be a certain mindset to be like, yeah, we can do this. That's no problem.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the type of people
That's a
we're
proper
looking
old-fashioned engineering mindset of a small engineering kind of workshop. Yeah, I'm a machine one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that.
Yeah, we've not done that before. We'll figure it out. Give it 10 minutes.
One of the things we work on really hard whenever people are always nervous when they come into interview. So it's just you can get so much more out of somebody, get such a better read if you just get them past the nerves bit.
Yeah.
So I always coach people is an interview's not something that's done to you. An interview is something you are participating in, and you're as much interviewing the people on the other side of the table. What advice would you give to somebody kind of coming out of university, maybe coming from another industry or from a different background, who's going into a tech job or going into a manufacturing job? What would you say to them, to help calm those nerves and bring their best characteristics out and their personality out in an interview?
I suppose it's knowing what you bring to that job is really important, because yes, you might be coming from a slightly different industry. So, for example, me coming from design background, one of my jobs was working as a print technician in LJMU. So, coaching students on how to print things, teach them health and safety, all of that. But you wouldn't think that was relevant to running a tech company. But actually, because we do manufacturing, I've done so much health and safety work that comes into running our workshop. And then you've got project management skills. There's so many different skills, and so much that your life can kind of bring into a job. So I think the confidence is knowing what you're really good at, what you've got to offer, and also you're not going to know how to do the job you're interviewing for until you've done it for 6 months, because there's a whole training, the settling in, the understanding all of their processes. So I think particularly from like a woman's point of view as well, I know in the past, like I've looked at things, so like being on the advanced manufacturing board, I was a bit like, well, I've not done this before. Should I apply? But people were like, you should apply. I think you'd be really great. So I put my CV in, had to do an interview, and I was thinking, we're a tiny business. You're not going to want us on the combined authority board, but actually,
you're exactly the sort of business
they're exactly the sort of business that I need. So I think taking that, like, it's a really great experience to try and step into something new, and you can own that as well. Like, I am looking to shift careers, but these are all of the things that I bring. This is all the research that I've done about the company. The company sounds brilliant. It's why I'm here. So not take a chance, but show you're willing to learn. You're willing to be bad at it for the first 6 months, because everybody is, and and just kind of just own what you bring, I think, is the most important thing.
Yeah. What you bring. That's great. So many people look at, they judge themselves in terms of CVs of the educational attainments or the experience, and so much of it is attitude over everything else. You can kind of pick up on somebody as actually, you'll fit. Fantastic. So for you next year, 2025, we're filming this in 2024. What's on the agenda for Jen and DefProc?
So next year we've basically got, hopefully, lots of really big kind of projects. So one of the things I've wanted to do with the business, we used to do lots of smaller projects. So maybe 3 months, 6 months, and then maybe a 12 months. I'm now looking, as part of the growth strategy, is bringing in more of those bigger projects. And next year, because obviously everything's under NDA, so I can't say anything, but next year we should basically have at least 2 or 3 longer term projects. We've been written into a number of grant applications as innovation partners. We've got new clients that have come in towards the end of this year. So it should be a really good year, particularly for growth in the business. But it's I can never say anything about what we do until we've actually done it.
That's amazing. Good news story. 2024 has been a tumultuous year. It's been a year of transition and holding your breath.
It's been very hard.
For you guys to have come through that, and 2025 is going to be the year stuff lands, and your biggest headache, I guess, is going to be hiring bigger team and growing the business. And
to be honest, it'll be really great to be able to to grow the team. But 2024 has been really challenging. But it's because it's it's that transition period. So we just have to embrace. What was it somebody said to me the other day? You have to embrace the chaos and then the stillness and wait for the new order.
You're going to get a vacation next year?
So well, we did actually get one this year. We did have 2 weeks off, and then we got 2 weeks off for Christmas. But I'm looking forward to a bit more time off next year. Fantastic. Would be great.
Fantastic.